Welcome back. Tonight, we're going to start a new series. A roll of the dice whiskey tasting. We're going to let the dice choose which one of my whiskeys I taste and review. So, let's get into it. Okay, so I have 71 whiskeys on the shelf back here. I have 7 kind of oddballs. One of them is a rum. I have 3 Irish, 7 Scotch, and the rest are a mix of rye, bourbon, Kentucky straight, yada yada yada, your typical whiskeys. We're gonna let the dice choose which one of those I taste test. So for that, I have 4 shelves. So we're going to use a 4-sided die to pick which one of those we do. The first shelf has, I think, 7 or 8 whiskeys on it. The second shelf has 18, and the bottom 2 have 23. So for that, we're going to use an appropriate die based on either the top shelf. The second shelf we'll use a 20, and the third and fourth shelf we're going to use a 20, but then I'll add in another die later on once we need to do more than 23, because they don't make a 23-sided die. Duh. I mean, yeah. So one of the things I want to do with this is I want to make this a quick and simple little video, and each one will just be a simple roll of the dice. I choose the whiskey and we go from there. So we'll start off rolling the 4-sided die, and then I might pick up a different, like an 8-sided for the top shelf, and we'll figure out what we need for the bottom 2 when we get to that point. I have my phone set up to capture which number comes up on the die, so there's no cheating. I don't seem to, pick one of my favorites instead. Hopefully this translates well in the end. It's not perfect, but I will maybe figure out a better way if I need to later on down the road. So we'll start with the 4-sided.
That one is a 3.
That one is a 3. So we're going off the third shelf here. All right.
There's 23 on the third shelf.
So there's 23 on the third shelf.
1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do it that way.
4. We'll do it that way.
All the time.
Stays that way all the time.
Now we're going to use the 20-sided.
Now we're going to use the 20-sided.
Whatever number comes up on top.
And whatever number comes up on top is going to be
which one of those we choose.
Which one of those we choose. All right.
So 20-sided.
So a 20-sided.
That is
17. A 17. So I'll get the 17 picked out, and we'll start trying it. And 17 is Old Forester Statesman. Already right off the bat, there's going to be some people go, Statesman, that's a horrible whiskey. Well, that's not true. It has all of the character that an Old Forester would normally have, just a slightly tweaked profile, in my opinion at least. And I'm not for sure if this was actually one that was done just for the movie Kingsman, or if it was one that they decided to pull in. I can do research on that and get back to you and see if that was the case. But I know this was what was used in the movie Kingsman, because the American version was Statesman, that was the spy organization. So little cool trivia fact in there. Again, this is an Old Forester. It is a straight Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and distilled exclusively for Statesmen. That's what it says on the bottle. This is a 95 proof. so it's a decent proof. Well, like I said, this is a 95 proof that is 47.5 ABV. If you're unfamiliar with ABV and proof and how that all works, I'll put a video link up here on a video I have talking about ABV and proof so that you can learn a little bit on the proof. So let's go ahead. It's been a while since I've had this, but I know I liked it. Maybe not quite as much as, say, the standard Old Forester 100 proof or maybe 1920. Those two seem to be kind of my favorites, but this does have a very similar profile. So let's crack into it and see what we got here. Which is typical of Old Forester. It's got a nice dark rich color. Not sure if there's an age statement on this. Let's see. No age statement. So it's probably 3 to 4 years. Probably not very long. Nothing on there. No. So it's probably not that old, but, and I'm not sure exactly how long Old Forester typically ages their whiskeys, but without an age statement, it could be a mix of multiple years. So, but on the nose, you get a nice rich caramel note. It's nice and dark, which I like. So it's really picked up a lot from the barrel. You can tell that right away. Proof's not really coming through, but there's a little bit of a weird funk on it. That usually means it's fairly young. I don't know if I like the nose right now. It's kind of interesting, but not quite sure if I like the nose or not this time around. Well, let's give it a sip and see what we think. It's definitely an Old Forester character. It's got a nice little bite to it. Don't get much of a whiskey hug, but that's maybe because it's only 95 proof. I say only. Some people are going to go, wow, that's hot. Typical notes, vanilla, caramel, some baking spice, maybe just a hint of cinnamon. There's something on a higher level in there. Typically I get like an artificial banana when it comes to the Old Forester products. I'm really not getting that with this, but there is a kind of a fruity note to it. Definitely not floral. Floral would go with more, at least in my opinion, or my taste buds, floral goes with more like the rye, which I have some rye back there. But did the mic pick that up? Swishing it around a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely a spice. Oh, I like that. Now I'm getting a little floral. Not tons. Now just a hint of like a fruit of some sort. But it's well, maybe more of a plantain. I don't know. It's not like I normally get, like I said, with the artificial banana. maybe just a hint of that funk that I got on the nose, which does lead me to believe that it's maybe a 1, 2, not more than a 3 or 4 year. And maybe that's one of the reasons why some of the people didn't like this one. So, not quite sure, but might be the reason. I don't know. Interesting. What is that? I'm not quite sure. But it's really not as bad as what some people think. Is it the typical Old Forester character? No, but yes. And I know that's kind of a cop-out. Sorry, but it is. Just because I get a lot of the spice that you get from Old Forester, but I don't get the typical artificial banana like I normally do. Caramel's real prevalent. Vanilla is kind of tamped down, but still there. A lot of spice. It's almost like a spiced rum, but it's not an artificial spice. It's maybe there's a wood tannin note. I'm not quite sure. I'm still trying to work on my woods and tannins and things like that as far as tasting goes, but I believe these are right around 45, 50 bucks. They're not too bad. I would say some people for the price wouldn't like this just because of some of the reviews I've heard on it. But I still think if you are a fan of Old Forester, it's something you definitely want to have as part of your collection, only because it rounds out everything that you would already have between the 86, the 100, 1910, 1920, 1870. I can't remember what else there is, but the distillery series. There's also their single barrel proof, which I do have a bottle over there of. As far as their more exclusive stuff, I haven't even tried that yet. I'd love to. If somebody knows how to hook me up with a bottle of Birthday, I would greatly appreciate it. Old Forester, if you're listening, come on, hook a brother up, all right? But yeah, Old Forester Statesman, 95 proof. It's really good. It does have a little funk on it. It's not horrible. It doesn't ruin it, but it's not what I would always call that typical Old Forester taste. Good sipper. I would say that definitely have it in your collection. So, well, thank you for joining me on this. If you like the series, please give this a like, share, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Click the bell so you can see more of these, because I plan on doing more. I kind of like this idea. I'm going to be surprised every single time I do this. So maybe you'll be entertained a little bit. I kind of like the idea. So let's give it a shot. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. And long ashes and full glasses to each and every one of you. I greatly appreciate the views, the likes, the comments. Let's keep it rolling. See you later. I gotta figure out what that kind of note is. I don't know what it is. There's something. Now I'm getting the artificial banana. Now I get it. Of course, at the end of the video, I mean, well,